Ah, good job. Oh, sorry. Oh God. There we are. All right, welcome back to the Kazual Bartender. I hope you've all had a great week. Today we'll be taking a look at some of the prep work that goes into making these cocktails for a dinner party or even a fun little get-together with friends. Some of what you're about to see may seem overwhelming and very time-consuming. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. It can be. Yes, it can be. But that shouldn't dissuade you from wanting to make these cocktails. And it is also part of the reason that you are making these cocktails to begin with. I slightly get overwhelmed because there is so much information that I want to give you, but really I have to focus on the most important stuff in the beginning to build a good foundation. And bar prep will help you build your foundation. The amount of time and care that you put into your prep will only be enhanced through the cocktails you serve. Like Gordon Ramsay always talks about, you need to have standards, madam, standards. Your level of standards will also come across in your cocktail. And remember, this is disposable art. So find a happy medium between Bob Ross and Gordon Ramsay. And here's a quick look of what goes into prepping for this show. Did you catch all that? No. All right. Ice, mallet, here we go. Aside from the basics and the fundamentals that we've already gone over, I would like you to bring your attention to two more fundamentals, ice and garnish. How do these two play a role in crafting the perfect cocktail? Well, like I've previously mentioned, it's all about balance. Ice is essential in taking the cocktail to its final dilution, its final balanced dilution and temperature. And the garnish, now that just adds more complexity to the flavor profiles within your cocktail as you sip it. You'd be surprised how important garnish is to a cocktail. Even the placement of the garnish is important. So that when you're actually bringing the glass to your lips, you inhale through the nose as you are sipping the cocktail, and it just launches that drink into the next level. Don't believe me? Okay, next time you're out having a drink, or better yet, making one of these drinks casually at home, just try it first without the garnish, wait a second, then add the garnish and try it again. See what kind of a difference that makes? All right, here's where it can get tricky. And you have to monitor the dilution of the ice in the cocktail. If you use the 2-inch cubes to shake a cocktail with a long, hard shake, that should take, anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds of long, hard shaking to get it to the proper temperature and dilution, versus using freezer-made cubes, which will break down faster since they have smaller surface area, something like 5 to 10 seconds. And this is where you have to find the balance between too much dilution and too little dilution. And like Dave Arnold elegantly puts it in his book, Liquid Intelligence, there is no chilling without dilution, and there is no dilution without chilling. So, if you're looking for great books on cocktails and the science behind it, then I highly recommend getting your hands on Liquid Intelligence. It's an amazing read, and I feel like I've barely even scratched the surface of the book. I've got so much more to dive into in that one. To make clear ice at home, you'll need to get a cooler that is about 10 quarts and make sure that you remove the lid. You can boil the water first to try and get rid of some of the extra gases that have built up. But really, in order to get clear ice, you have to understand a little bit of how ice works. Like ice from a lake, it freezes from the top to the bottom. As the water changes from a liquid to a solid state, it expands and the density changes. And with that, gases are expelled and trapped, which is why the ice made at home usually looks cloudy and crappy in the middle. The gas bubbles had nowhere to go. So you can also purchase silicone ice trays from Amazon.com, and I would recommend 2 inches or bigger. If you don't mind doing it, you can poke small holes in the bottom of each one and then rest that inside of the cooler. That will help to release some of that air bubbles, and you should pretty much get nice 2-inch cubes out of that. When you're using a 10-quart personal cooler, it'll take about 24 to 48 hours, maybe even 72 hours to fully harden. But just make sure that you temper the ice, kind of like this is doing right here, before you actually cut it. Otherwise, it will just shatter into many different pieces. And in order to make crushed ice, you're going to want to purchase something like this. It's called a Lewis bag and a wooden mallet. Yeah, Kind of looks like Thor's hammer. It's pretty awesome. I bought both of mine from Amazon.com, and both were rather inexpensive. This is a great way to make ice for the Mai Tai, the Mint Julep, or the Fix. So garnish. That's a lot of information I've thrown at you already. All right, looks like you need a drink. Well, here we are at the last part of the cocktail. To garnish or not garnish? That is the question. It is absolutely important that you use fresh produce. You can go to any kind of a supermarket or a farmer's market. Buy from local farmers. The quality speaks for itself, and I promise you. Now, basically when you're using fresh fruit, it's going to be really pleasing, it's going to be vibrant in color, and it will tickle the senses. So garnish is also very important to prep. Okay, yes, it's time consuming, but if you're building yourself a good foundation of standards, the cocktail will speak for itself. So, I guess that can be said of life too. Well, as far as what type of garnish goes with what cocktail, really, you can be as creative as your mind lets you be. Go nuts when you're experimenting with these new flavors, seriously. But try to stick to the garnish that I give you in these specs for these cocktails. They have served through the test of time and have a purpose. Now, garnish can range all the way from lemon and lime wedges to cucumber slices and mint, speared candied ginger. Also, Luxardo, maraschino cherries, the real kind, not that crap put in the red syrup. Grated spices and also fresh berries. Now, speaking of fresh berries, that's what we're going to use for this one. This is one of the oldest and simplest cocktails to make. Let's make the fix. So, got your mallet, Lewis bag, large shaker tin, small shaker tin. Like everything else, we're going to build in our small shaker tin. Got our jiggers. So to start, we're going to do 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. Be sure that you hit your marks. So we're just going to pour that right in. There we go. 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice. Followed by 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. There we go. Perfect. And finally, 2 ounces of Ford's gin. Ford's gin is really good. The owner and creator of Ford's gin is Simon Ford. He's part owner of the 86 company, which puts out Ford's gin. They also put out a tequila, a rum, as well as a vodka. Let's go with 2 ounces. There we go. Ford's gin. Perfect. Okay, next what we're going to need to grab, we're going to do some ice. So we're going to grab one of these. Box right here. Set it in. And I'm just going to use a couple of our ice cubes back here for the garnish. Okay. Pour it in. There we go. Okay, now while that sits there, get my chilled glass out, and inside of my Lewis bag, I'm going to throw some of these blocks of ice right here. There we go. And we're going to beat them.
Gosh.
You're having a bad day. This is great. Oh, yeah, that sounds awesome. Awesome. So, got some crushed ice going. Ooh. It's like a snow cone. This is great. Look at it. Oh, my God. All right, so I highly recommend the Lewis bag. This thing is incredible. Okay, we got our crushed ice right there. Next, we're going to take our Hawthorne strainer, and we are going to strain this right in. Oh, that looks amazing. All right. And it's going to get a little messy, but that's okay. It's worth it. I'm going to put a mound of that right on top as well. Okay, now to finish this, the garnish. What we're going to do is we're gonna take, we do it right in our small shaker thing. Usually you'll do it in the large one, but we'll do it in the small because it's right there. Take a couple of blackberries and raspberries. We're gonna do some fruit. We're gonna throw those right in the middle. We're gonna take our muddler and just a touch of simple syrup. Not too much, like 3/8 of an ounce, if that. All right, and we're gonna give this a nice muddle. Just nice and gentle. Just a gentle bruising of the fruit. All right. And now what we're gonna do with that is take our bar spoon. We're just gonna help ease it right out onto top of, or onto the, onto the cutting board. Just gonna ease it right on top of this. There you go. And of course, you'll want to taste it. Actually gonna switch straws. Let's try it out. Oh my god. That's amazing. Oh, that is so good! Alright, well, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. And now that we're almost halfway through the season, I've laid down a lot of basic principles, and hopefully it helped you build a good foundation for you to follow along and create these amazing cocktails with me. And as we go through the rest of the season, the cocktails will get a little more complex. And I assure you, if you follow along with me and follow the steps and specs, you too will be a casual bartender. And if you miss something, don't worry. You can always go back and watch the videos again to pick up anything you might have missed. If you have any questions or want to just tell me what you think of the show, go ahead and throw them into the comments section below. Be sure to subscribe. Come on and subscribe. We want all of you guys. Tell your friends and your family about us. It's the only way we're going to get out there. And once again, I will see you guys right here next week on The Casual Bartender. Blueberry bagel!